Morning, everyone, and welcome to the Iowa 911 Communications Council meeting for Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Here, Rob Rotter. Welcome everyone in the room and joining us virtually. Eric, could you please give us a roll call?
Yes. Chris Collins,
Present.
Jeff Miller,
Here.
Jane McSheedy, Mike Bryant,
Mike Bryant's here.
Eric Daw, or Tom Berger,
Tom Berger's here.
Lynn Tasioli,
Lynn is here.
Josh Duty,
Here.
Rob Dennert,
Rob's here.
Adam Wall,
Here.
Tom Weeble. That would work.
Thank you. Could I get a motion to approve today's agenda?
Do the motion.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. And could I get a motion to approve the October 9th, 2025 minutes?
Lynn, motion to approve.
Have a second.
Oh, a second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
And same sign. The motion carried. Blake, do you have a report for us?
Do. Before I pull up the slides, I'm going to jump right into the quarterly financials. This covers the month of July, August, and September. We received the funding, the surcharge remittance during the month of October. We published this towards the end of October. So just to give you a timeline. This is the PSAP, or I should say the County 911 Service Board remittance amounts. It looks a little bit different. We added a few columns and I'll talk you through those right now. So we did, and you'll see this on the next sheet, get to the point where we were at a negative balance for the program. So we had to implement the language in Senate File 659, which allows us to invoice counties for the services we provide. So this attempts to show all of our math as we go through that. So then the normal sheet is here, and then we added some columns to the right. As we walk through this, the normal payment amount is listed there as payment amount. That would be the amount that we would have provided if it was a regular quarter. The next column is percentage of pass through, and that's the amount that we determined that we needed to retain to make us solvent. The next column there is invoice amount. That is basically the amount that was withheld or invoiced to each county. And then there's some shading, and those counties that are shaded are the counties that have MOUs with us that allow us to withhold the funding on the front end to make everyone's life a little bit easier as far as administrative burden, not sending invoices and checks back and forth. So, and then the column that's MOU payment amount, that's basically just the invoice amount minus the full payment. And that's the amount that the counties that have MOUs received in full. They don't have to do any additional paperwork. They just get to deposit the check. So those counties that do not have invoices would have received the payment as well as the invoice in the same envelope, the invoice being due to our office 30 days after. So I'm not going to go through individual counties by any means. Just wanted to talk everyone through that sheet since it looks a little bit different than past quarters. And then I will pull up the quarterly expenditure report. Got a little bit smaller. So we did make some changes to how this is designed as well. 34A requires that we produce this and submit it to LSA as well as present it to the council on a quarterly basis. But 34A does not prescribe what this really looks like. So over the course of the years, we've tried to make this relevant for whatever the topic of the day happens to be, to try to really show what people are probably interested in. A number of years ago, when we had a large amount in the surplus, there was a lot of interest in, making sure we showed our math of where everything was going within the surplus. So we kind of enlarged the section that really detailed out everything that came in and out of the surplus. So we've kind of tweaked this form. A lot of it looks similar, but we've tried to highlight kind of, again, showing our math on where we are for the overall fund. And we've probably diminished what we show in the surplus because frankly, there's nothing in the surplus. So we're really just kind of showing the front end of the fund, the total revenue, the total expenditures, and then the amount that we are short. So to walk you through this, we received just over 8.1 million in wireless surcharge, 30,000 plus in interest, and prepaid card revenue of 620,000. The other thing that you'll notice, the first quarter of the year is normally when we move $300,000 from the fund into an administrative piece of the fund that we use to do our program management and administration. So normally in the first quarter, that HSEMD funding would say 300,000. But again, with really trying to sharpen our pencil here, trying to make us as lean as possible to not have a kind of a chain reaction of larger bills than are necessary to everyone at the county level. Instead, we just we're kind of taking it quarter by quarter, paying ourselves as we go instead of taking the lump $300,000 all at once. That's reflected there. The next line is wireless cost recovery. And one thing to note here as well, that is significantly lower than previous quarters. That is because we were notified that this is the last quarter that the last wireless carrier that had been invoicing us will be invoicing us anymore. So if you remember that provision that allows wireless cost recovery sunsets summer of 2026. So we were about, within the last year of that anyway. But again, we received notification that the last carrier is no longer going to submit invoices. So in future quarters, that should be a zero. That will be nice for the program to not continue to fund that going forward. Network costs, nothing really to note. They're listed there. Again, those are the recurring costs to provide 911 service statewide. And then you get down into the next block, which kind of, again, shows the revenue, total expenditures, total revenue, the difference, which we were short $309,000. That reflects out to 5.86 with a lot of digits afterwards shortage. We applied that percentage to each and every county's total surcharge, remove that 5.8%, and that's how we came up with everyone's invoiced amount or the withholding amount. So the quarterly operating surplus is still there. It's all negative numbers. So any questions on the financials? Not, I will move into the regular slides. Sorry. There we go. All right, so we talked through the program financials, talked through the amount that we were short. If you didn't want to bother counting the PSAP payment sheet, we did end up with 32 signed MOUs. So 32 counties do not have to go through the invoice and send a check back to us process. That's still open for business. If anyone goes through this quarter and wants to just sign the MOU going forward, happy to do that at any point throughout this process, really. So we can still put more of those in place and hopefully alleviate any additional administrative burden for a lot of folks. Again, a note that I'm really trying to hammer home is if you do receive an invoice, if you're not one of those 32 with a signed MOU, the invoice paperwork is in with the check itself. So don't overlook that. If you did accidentally discard it, let me know. We can get you an electronic one. And then you see down below the additional projections. So the first one there is real life, $309,000 quarter one. That's what we just experienced. And then everything to the right of that is future projections. So you can see that over the course of the next basically 2 fiscal years on where we project those to be. Again, big caveat is that we do expect those to move. Not by any means the final numbers, it's just a forecast at this point. After this council meeting later today, we plan to send out the next 4 quarters worth of what that means to you as a county. So kind of what I've done in the past is, take this total amount for the quarter, what does that mean for you as a county? And keep that running 4 quarters out, so you can always kind of plan on the next year of what that looks like specific to your county. So that will go out later this afternoon. Moving on to the more traditional piece of the program manager report. We'll also be sending out a reminder here before too long on annual forms. I would say submissions have been lagging. Just get those in. Again, the deadline for those is January 1st. So service board membership form, PSAP update form, and your expenditure collection form for the previous fiscal year. Updated this next bullet here a number of times, but it's kind of moving through the process now, so I want to hit it again. Section 605, Chapter 10 of Administrative Rules is kind of going through the red tape rules review process right now. So every department needs to go through a process to rescind their administrative rules and then redraft them and repromulgate them. The idea being to shorten chapters and make them have less regulatory burden on them. So we, as a department, we're pretty close to done with this, but one of the remaining chapters that is just now starting its process is Chapter 10, which governs 911. So that would have been in the Administrative Rules Bulletin on October 29th. The public comment period for that is currently open and it closes November 19th. As a reminder, this is a 3-step process. So right now we're in the regulatory analysis phase. After public comments close on that, we can go ahead and move it into the notice of intended action phase. That'll be in the administrative bulletin before the end of the calendar year closes. There'll be another period of public comment and public hearing. We'll consider anything that we receive, and then it'll move into the adopted and filed stage where there is still yet another public comment period. So there's plenty of time to weigh in if anyone is interested after they review what we've proposed. Don't really expect anything to be controversial or anything within the rules. For those that were familiar with the Chapter 10, the existing version restated a lot of Iowa Code 34A. So a lot of what it does is just eliminate that and kind of cross-reference it back to other sections of code rather than restating it again. Any questions on any of that before I move on? An update on GIS grants. All 99 counties met the benchmarks for the entire first quarter. We sent out GIS grant payments in the amount of $321,000. And then in the month of October, again, all 99 counties met the benchmarks for the first month of the quarter. As a reminder, we do payments on that grant quarterly. You have one amendment to a training application to approve. The fall APCO conference requested and was approved for $2,400. The final invoices came in $68.40 above that. I did not feel comfortable paying the additional amount without the blessing of the council, so it is before you. And I'm sure Kara or someone will talk about that when we get to that item on the agenda. That concludes my part of the presentation. Any other questions for me? If not, I will turn it over to Lynn for an update on shared services.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Fremont County went live on shared services in October. For anybody that wasn't here last month, I just wanted to re-announce and remind everybody that Zetron is a new interface to securely send real-time call data to AI companies. I know everybody's hearing about AI all in the news, it's everywhere, and it's making a big difference to the 911 world. So we are in the process of doing 3 different, how do I say that? Integrating with 3 PSOPs with 3 different AI companies. We are currently underway, probably to be completed in the next month or 2. AI companies are doing things like transcription, converting all the audio to text, translation, doing real-time translation, providing summaries of information and recommendations for responses, and of course allowing for QA analysis of your call records. So if you are interested in AI, if you're talking to AI companies, if you want any additional information, just reach out to me, lynn.warren@zetron.com, and we'd love to talk to you about some of the options and the directions things are going. Next slide. And this is what the map looks like now with Fremont. We got the whole bottom left corner all green. They're excited to be here. Next slide. Reminder that the learning management system is available to everyone, not just shared services. Updated use statistics are listed there. It looks like each month we're adding about 500 new course enrollments, and about 200 courses are being completed. If you're interested in signing up or have any questions, please reach out to Christy Wade at motivations.com there. Next slide. And just a reminder, if you want to receive our periodic newsletter, just send an email to me. And I think that's it, unless there's any questions.
And if there's no questions for Lynn, there's no questions for me, that would conclude our part of the agenda.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on, printing fund requests. As mentioned, we have just an adjustment to the fall conference APCO. $2,400 to additional $68. Have anything you want to tell us?
We had estimated what her travel costs and board or lodging were gonna be down for 1 night stay at the hotel. It ended up being 2. We came a little bit over, giving her 2 nights lodging at the Holiday Inn, so it ended up $8 over. So when I submitted it to Blake, that's a good idea just to bring it forward. Say it's a little bit higher than what I'd said.
Okay, one thing to point out for maybe new members on the council is a while back, we kind of had a standing $5,000 approval for each APCO and NINA for each conference. So this is still below that, but we do like to document what the actual amount is.
Okay, with that, does anyone want to make a motion to adjust this amount to $24.68?
Collins will motion.
Do I have a second?
Berger will second.
Is there any discussion?
Stay.
All those in favor signal by saying aye.
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 Against, same sign. And motion carries. Thank you. All right. Does anybody have any technical advisory? Okay, hearing none, then we'll move on to an update of the Iowa Statewide Interoperable Communication Systems Board. Ms. Nichols.
Okay, thank you, Chair Roder. Good morning, everybody. The ISICS board and its committees continue to work on new policy and function alignment with the SCIP. Committee applications have come in as we've been requesting for most of the year. Thank you all for submitting those by the deadline. Those will be reviewed and committee members will be approved at the next month's ISIC board meeting to align with current policy. For a update on our IMED or REB-CDP grant project, the funds are still paused as far as I know. That grant was extended through March 28th of next year. But our financial report was accepted last week, even though the government wasn't shut down. So that's just one tiny little update. I did send out a few weeks ago that Dodgeville, Wisconsin has a communications unit leader corps open, and they will accept Iowa students. So if anybody's interested, please let me know and you can register for that still. And the ISXB annual report is in a working draft. If you have anything that you're interested in adding to that or would like to look at it, let me know. And that's all I have today.
Okay, thank you. All right, can we get an update from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, Mr. Myers?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everybody. It's good to be back. No slides today, but I will say that in the current state we are in with our communication systems, especially with everything coming up within the next year, you look at the world class special events that are coming, such as FIFA World Cup, this country's 250th anniversary celebration. Maintaining cyber vigilance of our key communication systems is going to be of the utmost importance. I will say now that we have official confirmation that most, if not all, the systems we rely on have encountered some sort of viable cyber threat within the last 2 years, whether it's 911 systems, CAD and RMS, LMR, or even alerts and warnings. So maintaining contact with your systems provider, making sure that all those systems are up to date is going to be super important, especially with edge network devices, which are often overlooked in big configurations like that. Your routers, your switches, your firewalls, things of sorts. There have been some notices and articles that came out recently that are relevant to this group as well, especially with some of our foreign threat actors that seek to gain access and compromise our systems. In the absence of having slides available today, I will be sending them out to the group for distribution as well. Everything I send out will be TLP clear in nature or otherwise publicly released, so it will be shareable on a broad platform. Just please don't post it on any social media. Otherwise, that's all I have, Mr. Chair. I can go ahead and take any questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we have any legislative issues that someone would like to discuss? Okay, hearing none. Any information sharing by council members? Okay, we have no unfinished business or new business or travel requests. Do we have any business from the floor from the folks in this room? Do we have any business from the folks joining us virtually? Okay, hearing none, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Do the motion.
Do I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adjourn. Thank you, everybody.